Alrighty then. Hi everybody, it's Hugh here. Can you hear me okay? If you can hear me, put something in the chat box. All right, there we go. John, Dana, what's up, Dana? Hey, John, Jean, Wayne. All right, excellent. Troy, what's up? Pardon me. All right, let's get this party started here a bit. Now, I want you guys to really participate with me if you can tonight, because I'm really going to do I'm really committing to do this this training for you, and it's going to be roughly once a month. And this is not just for my paid members, which we have the membership, or my mentoring students, but this is just for everyone. The whole world at large is invited to this monthly training. And, I want to get people familiar with me, with my message, with what we do here, and I really want to help people because I think we have a lot to offer here, myself, Hugh, and Web Dimensions. And before I go any further, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Some of you don't know me. Some of you do know me. Some of you are, just brand new friends, and I really welcome all my new friends. I want to let you know a little bit about me. Of course, my name is Hugh Hitchcock. I kind of started out as a musician, and I was fairly successful in music, but I ended up making a little change along the way from a musician to a software engineer. And I'm still a musician, so don't get me wrong, I still market my music and all that, but there were just too many times when stuff like this happened. Picture of of course, the club owner or whatever, the agent, the promoter's got a huge pile of money, and they just don't want to give it to the band. So unfortunately, that's the kind of issue that you come up against in the music biz. So one day I just decided, I had a bit of enough of that. I wanted to get involved with the internet, with programming and all that. So I became, I started learning about all of that stuff. And in 2002, I incorporated my corporation, Web Dimensions. And since then, Web Dimensions has serviced a lot of high-end clients, including we worked for Burger King. No, we did not cook hamburgers, but I was working in the corporate offices of Burger King, writing their website for them. I also worked at Microsoft, where I was working on the MSN.com. But ultimately, I just ended up sort of gravitating back to my own company. And when the economy, I've been around a while since then. As you can see, here's some pictures of me, my cosmopolitan lifestyle. And another thing about me is that I really believe in setting goals and achieving them, and I've done that again and again in my life, and I think everybody can do it. And I like to have fun too. I like to play around with family. I love to just have a good time. That's me. And here's a picture of me in Honduras playing some authentic music. And anyway, just there you go, a little bit about me. Now let's move on to the important stuff, which is how I can help you. And I do think I can help you. And what I want to start with today is the content curation success mastermind that I promised you. How's everybody with me so far? I hope I haven't bored you to tears. If you don't mind, why don't we just put a 1 into the chat box to let me know that you're with me? Great. Got a lot of 1s coming in. Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Hey, this is great. I'm so glad to have you guys here. And I want to just really kind of get comfortable with you, put my feet up, and really share what I've got inside my brain with you, because I got a lot of stuff. And like I said, this is going to be, a regular thing. So we'll just keep paying it forward for everybody here. Okay, so you're here obviously because you do web stuff, right? I mean, oh, by the way, just so you know, I'm not going to push you to buy anything at the end of this either. Okay, this is just content You might be interested in looking into some of our stuff, which I'll give you, how to get there, but I'm not going to push you on a product at the end. So let's just start with, the fact that you're here because you got a web business or an online business. And if you were doing really well with that, you probably would be off on a yacht somewhere rather than here at this webinar, or you may be doing well with it. I don't mean to assume anything. In fact, I'd like to get to know everyone and know exactly what's going on. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you could just type in the chat box one short phrase that describes your business online. If everybody could do that for me, that would just be fantastic and just help us keep it rolling here. Can you do that? Slow. I got a couple of people saying slow. I mean, I don't mean all over the place getting started. Okay. Search engine marketing for a number of clients. That's good. Nothing. It's okay. You're starting from nothing. That's great. Mobile marketing with major concentration on mobile apps, real estate sales, the motorsports industry, Amazon, discovering your inner self. Okay, we got a lot of great stuff here. Starting, niche and local SEO, video for offline. Bought tons of products, but not much to show for it. I really appreciate you guys sharing with me. That's really important, so I know where you're at. Okay, so that's great. We have some people that are kind of starting from scratch right now. We have others that already have a niche or a topic that they want to be with and maybe have already established a website or whatever, and you're trying to work with that. Great. So great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of start from the beginning, and I've been doing this for a while now, so I know there are certain things in common that you want to start with. Now, everybody, of course, is going to start telling you keywords and all that, but I don't really even think at this point keywords is the place to start. Now, certainly they're important, right? But it's more really just of a topic or an interest, right? Because the topic and the interest is what makes the keywords. And a lot of times the keywords that you search for are not really the ones that people are going to find you for. So it's very hard really to start in the beginning and say, I'm going to pick keywords and people are going to come for those keywords. And it's especially hard now that Google has obscured all the data, and I'm sure you guys know about that. If you don't know about it, just what happened was they used to give us almost, pretty much all the data on keywords, and last year, maybe a year and a half ago, they basically pulled the curtain on all of that. So now we have this keyword planner, which is really, if I may so, a huge PITA, and they're really trying to show you keywords that they want you to pay for, rather than giving you an opportunity to learn how to find keywords so you can get organic traffic for it. Because of course, Google wants you to pay for ads and so on and so forth. So I would say, the best way to go at this point is not trying to approach as a science, although if you're scientific, great, do that, but think of it more as, an enterprise that you're going to start. Even if it's just a niche website, so I'm going to start something that gets people excited, that gets some buzz when they look at it, and then I'm going to provide content that keeps people coming back. Now that's easier said than done. I realize that. So, many of you are here because of the content curation success formula, and with that, I'm going to go through now a way to create that content, and it's partly of what we taught you in that. Even before you get to that content part, you have to think about, setting up your domain, your website, your hosting, your WordPress, and all that kind of thing. I've learned a few things in the last few years, and especially about buying domains, and if you you can go out and get the so-called EMD, the exact match domain, and that may in fact help your search results. But if you learn how to kind of poke around in the used domains, then you can come up with some real gems. And I'm not trying to push you to PBNs because that's a whole different thing here. You know, some people work on PBNs and some don't. I started this mind map from scratch because I wanted to build it with you guys from scratch. So let's just start building this mind map a little bit. First thing, of course, every website is going to start from an idea. Yes, Laurence, we just started. Okay, so you're going to have that idea, whether it's for, you know, your niche or, you know, it's usually that's what they call a niche. You know, a niche is something that is a particular interest, and you do want to think in terms of narrowing the interest. For example, you can't be like a full service niche. In other words, you can't say, you know, unless you're a huge department store and you've got every department in the world that people go to search for, like, but even Home Depot has, you know, it's a very wide inventory, but it's also narrowed to the fact that it is home improvement stuff. Well, home improvement, of course, is a huge niche. So if we dig down into that following the Home Depot trail, then we might think of something like, let's say we narrow that way down to porch and lawn furniture. You know, that's one area of Home Depot, of many, many areas that they have. But you could actually pick that particular idea and then build your enterprise around that, and you would become the authority on that particular area, which would be the lawn and porch furniture or whatever. I am not an expert in lawn and porch furniture, so I can't tell you all the wonderful facets of that particular inventory, but I'm sure if you look it up, you're going to see. And you won't be the first one that's done it, but that's okay. If other people are running those particular niches, that means that there's going to be some money there, and you can also go and copy ideas and spy on the way that they've strategized their SEO and so on and so forth. But the main thing I'm talking about is you got to come up with an idea. It should be an idea that you can service, right? And I've said this before, but I mean, people said they had come up with niches about things that are really disgusting, and they couldn't even think of content for it because it's just something they couldn't wrap their brain around or whatever. So that's why I say pick a niche that you can service, meaning that it's something that could turn you on, and hopefully there's more than one thing in the world that turns you on, so you can find, you know, different things that you'll have an interest in. I also don't think you can do a million things at once. The problem with you know, a lot of us in this industry kind of get caught up in the bright and shiny object syndrome, and I don't want to, you know, run that into the ground because I'm sure you've heard that forever. Yes, reversing the aging process, Laurence. I know you've got some, I've seen your material on the stem cell stuff. That's just fantastic. You should be able to rock it with that. So I was saying, you know, we kind of get programmed into this idea because, you know, we're looking at all of these people that email us every single day. I've tried not to be in that category. You may receive an email from me from time to time about something that I really think is great. But I also get these emails day in and day out from people that are supposedly gurus, you know, telling me that I should buy this or that particular solution and then install it on my blog and then that's going to basically take care of my business for me. But unfortunately, that's really just not a true paradigm, if I may say. Because you should use those things sparingly and effectively, but you can't really just turn over everything to these automated solutions. You have to actually have some kind of substance to what you're trying to offer. And that especially is true now with the changes in Google and everything else that's going on. Are you guys following me? Give me a 1 in the chat box if it's going good. All right, great. I'm seeing the ones. Good. I want you guys to stay involved, and if you don't like where I'm going, whatever, you can let me know too. But there are also some situations where just by sheer coincidence you happen to get that keyword. And Dana's here. Dana's a great marketer out there, and he's worked with us quite a bit. And I think Dana kind of falls into that category sometimes, because he is finding those niches for his business that he gets stuff out there, and then he gets the traffic, And it just happens to be the niche that he's in, that he's working it correctly, And that's I don't know anything about auto blogs, Lee. I'm sorry. I don't think these. I don't know. I can say, I will repeat this again, which is that if you're going to work something like a PBN, number one, you have to be super intelligent to make it really work, and that includes any kind of auto blogging solution, okay? Because you cannot just press a button and have auto content show up and be really good. It's like you may have to put some planning into that. I do definitely believe that if you plan your auto blogging, and you really write the text with spin text yourself, and so that it really looks good, then you can end up with a great result. But letting everything be done by automation is basically, a waste, not only a waste of your own time, your own money, and your own success, but it's also a waste of bandwidth. It's a waste of humanity. I just, forgive me, but I come from like sort of a university-oriented approach. So the way I feel is that, putting out a lot of nonsense is sort of counterproductive just for posterity, of humanity in general. Not that I haven't done it. I've tried everything, folks. I've tried SE Nuke. I've done all of that stuff. And I've seen it be very effective. But the only problem with those things, guys, is that once you get all those links out there pointing to your site, you no longer have any control over what happens. And if you think, at this particular point in time, those links are giving you a huge benefit because of the way that Google's algorithm reads them in and gives you a plus sign for each one of them. What about like next year or next month when Engineer Panda gets some idea that, oh, what if I change this little line of code in our algorithm, and all of a sudden all those tens of thousands of links give you a negative strike, and then it could change again the month after that. So the point is that if you're, it's kind of like trading Forex or something. You get heavily leveraged, you get heavily leveraged into a particular position, and when the market goes against you, you have no option other than to cut your loss, right? So you don't want to get into that position with your web business either. So that's why I say you should be very careful about the kind of things that you do that people supposedly say, are going to give you a lot of traffic or whatever. We got a couple of questions in. Let me just try and address those. Yes, Laurence, I definitely see curated content as successful, and I'm going to explain that. Dana bought the PBN thing, and it was a waste of money. I will say about the PBN thing, I mean, it's working for people. The thing about a PBN, though, the only way that a PBN works is if you know how to be extremely deceptive online, right? Because a PBN by nature means that you have to represent yourself as a different fake individual for every single website. And to me, that's another way of investing yourself in a position that could go against you at some point, depending on what the way things go. I mean, they're thinking up new laws all the time. So I still feel at the end of the day, folks, the best way to be successful with a website is to work in a niche that you are able to service. And John asked me what that means. And what that means is something that you feel good that you can provide that content for, right? That you'll always be able to come up with another angle to provide information about that niche or that content because you have some kind of an edge in that niche, even if it's just a friend of yours that can help give you tips or whatever about that particular topic. I mean, like I started my online business by saying, you know what, I've seen how much money these people make doing audio mastering online, and I want to do that. So I invented a sales funnel for audio mastering, and it worked for me. You know, I got tons of clients, and I made a lot of money doing that. I kind of changed up after a while because it takes an awful lot of time to service music clients and not quite as much money as I'd like to make. So I do other things as well. But that's how I kind of started my big funnel thing, and it's because I know about that and I enjoyed doing it, and I felt I could service the clients from that area. Now, you may not want to have a hands-on business like that, in which case, you know, don't be discouraged because that's not really what I'm teaching here. I'm just saying you got to find your own hook into your business that kind of turns you on, you know. And once you do that, then you can do all kinds of things. Like sometimes I make content just by interviewing people that I know are, you know, have some importance, and then I take the interview and I pay someone to transcribe the, you know, into text, and then I post that. That's content that I'll never, you know, no one will ever get other than me. But that's hard, you know, that's not the easiest thing either. I'm going to show you how to do it with just curating from other websites. Troy wanted to know, what do I think is the best spinner? I kind of like Spin Rewriter these days, but the best spinner is good too. They both have good features. Those are the two. Okay, so I hope this is good for you. You know, the information is good. If there's more specific things, yeah, we're going to zero in. It's only 24 minutes into the call, guys, so I haven't really even, you know, even started to scratch the surface of the iceberg yet. As I mix my metaphors there. Scratching the surface of the iceberg, there's that. Okay, Sheldon asked me, is it true you only allow a certain percentage curation on a post or page? The rest have to be unique. I don't consider it to be a particular percentage. I do believe that you have to present it as, you know, citing work from someone else, and you should bracket it with your own added value, whatever that is. It could be a couple sentences. It could be a few paragraphs. You can also curate more than one curated piece onto one page, right? So you could quote from 2 or 3 different articles in the same post and then provide your unique slant on each one or whatever. Yeah, sure. Mr. OMC11, We're all learning. Lee asked me about video auto blogging, and I think there's some products that do that pretty well. I think that Peter Garrity's thing seems to be good, although I haven't really used it. It looks pretty good. I don't know. I can't tell you that it's going to get you results or not. I do know that my own style of blogging does get pretty good results. Okay, Wayne asked me, what do you think about setting up blogs for the purpose of affiliate marketing? I definitely do think that can be done. In fact, we're doing that. It's just about how you work your business. If you take your business seriously and provide value, then you're going to be successful. I fully believe that, folks. I mean, the thing is, if you give your sort of hand your business over to these automated solutions that you get sold every day, you're just going to bounce from one thing to the other because you're not really working your business. You know, you're like, oh, great, here's a solution that I don't have to work my business. I can just put this on, and it's going to get traffic, and I'll make money, and that'll live. Unfortunately, that's how they sell it to you. And in some ways, you know, that's just sort of how we all do it in this market, and I kind of hate to say it, but I didn't tell you anything dishonest on the sales page of our software, not in the slightest, but I definitely did tell you it's great, you know, so that's just how marketing works, right? I cannot speak to the claims of other people in this marketplace, and you don't see me, you know, promoting a lot of stuff because a lot of it I just go, oh God, how can they sell that? You know, with props to my fellow marketers, the ones out there know that I'm solid with them, you know, but there is a lot of crap in the marketplace. Forgive me. Let's move on. Okay, good. Here we go. SL services. Please go in depth about curated information that we post to a page. Do we rewrite the whole thing, then delete the curated info, or leave the curated info and add some relative content? If the latter, about how many words should the original content be? Okay, great. I'm really glad you asked that question, and this is where we're going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and actually create a curated post on one of my blogs right now. I have this one called Mixing and Mastering, and it does pretty well. I recently got a notice from Google that my theme was not responsive, and that was the original Magazine Basic, the old one. So I tried the new one. I didn't like that, so I switched over to this one, and this one is pretty good. It's responsive, and so Google doesn't have a problem with this one. It's not the greatest looking theme in the world, but it's okay. It has all the information that we need. Okay, I really appreciate these questions, you guys. Here's a great one from Jose. What are the major risks of content curation, if any? Talking about things that content authors may complain. Okay, great. Yeah, that's going to be answered right now. Yes, it's mobile responsive, Eric. Let me scooch it down so you can see how lovely it is when you scooch it down. Yes, that's what responsive is. Okay. Now, if I close this and it stayed wide and covered it up, then it would not be mobile responsive. But because I can scooch it down like this, and it still looks, you can still see everything, that means it's responsive. Took me a while to figure that out too, but this is what we're all learning. Okay, curation. First of all, let's be really, really clear on what curation is. Okay, first of all, let's just say, you know, what is curation? Well, you guys have heard Bruce, the play button is just part of an advertisement. It's not really a play button. Okay. Okay. What is curation? You've heard of a museum curator, right? The curator of a museum is the person who manages the artifacts, presents them, makes sure they get displayed, explained properly, the attribution of perhaps if it's an artwork of the author of the artwork is stated quite clearly, and perhaps the date of the artwork, all this sort of thing. This is like the meta information about the artifact that's being presented, right? So that's what curation is in terms of web, blogging or blog curation. Present an artifact, which could be an article, image, video, audio, anything online, really. Okay? Yes, Dan, I'm going to get to, Lawrence, I'm going to get to that question. We are recording this. Hopefully the recording will come out okay. Okay, so curation is you present an article or whatever artifact it is. You might explain what it is, give credit to who made it originally, and either display the item in the case of an image or a video, or provide a link back to the source. Okay, so those are all important elements of curated content. The content itself, whether an excerpt or the actual item, explain it or give a context for it, give credit to who created it, and provide a link back to the source. So those of you who did ask me about, what's the proper way to curate and all that, these are the important things that you must have. Now, perhaps you conceived it a little differently. Perhaps you thought it was about getting some content from somewhere out there and then sort of rewriting it into your own content. No, that is not correct. Do you guys understand that? Please give me a 1 if you understand what I'm saying now, because it's really important. Okay, good. Some 1s coming in. Let me make sure everybody gets that. Now, we are not like stealing the content and then making it our own. I'm not meaning to accuse anyone here of being someone that would steal something, because that's not what I'm saying. But I understand how it could be confusing and you may not quite understand what I was trying to say. So I'll try to really express it really clearly. Okay, it's like you find something out there that's really cool and you say, hey, they got this really cool thing on this website. Check it out. Okay? That's what curating is. And to demonstrate that, let me just go ahead and create a little curated post while I'm here. Now, I was going to sort of get a little bit into siloing the website too, but I don't think we're going to have enough time today. But that's an important thing too. Once you have your idea, in fact, let me just make a quick note here. Once you have your idea, then you're going to come up with your phrases or keywords. And from there, you're going to do what we call siloing the website, which means just basically organizing the website into the separate areas that each keyword or phrase will target within your idea that you're servicing. Okay. But I'm not going to deal with that now, because once you get it siloed, that's when the content comes in. So this website that I have is already quite nicely siloed. As you can see from the menus that I have, I'm and this is a little bit like probably ultra siloed. This particular website has a much more of a major silo than a lot of other ones that I do. I did a pretty good research on these keywords before they deleted the keyword tool. So I had, I have a pretty good strategy going with these keywords, so I kept it. What I will do is I'll pick one of these and then I'm going to put an article underneath that. Okay, so I can go back here and check out my categories on WordPress. It doesn't have to be WordPress to do this, but WordPress is kind of the, the status quo these days. So let's just see what categories I have here. Quite a few. So I think it's going to be under something like music production. But I haven't actually decided. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Rolling Stone magazine here. Okay? You guys with me? There are a lot of cool articles out there. At this particular time, since it's a music-related website, I'm going to choose an article from Rolling Stone, and I'm going to curate that article to my website. Now, the mixing and mastering has more to do with music production than a lot of this other stuff. So I think what I will do is check out this one. Nile Rodgers prepares first Chic album in 2 decades. And you guys know who that is, right? Who here knows who Chic is? Give me a 1. Anybody? Okay, remember that song Freak Out? Freak out. The freak says she. Freak out. The freak is she. Okay. That's Chic. That was the name of the group that did that big hit disco song back in the day. Yeah, you guys are too young for that. So I'm just an old disco fart, but yeah. Well, anyway, it's good stuff. So this guy is now putting out a new record. So I'm going to use this article as my curated source. So I'm going to go back to my mixing and mastering website, and I'm going to add a new post. Actually, that was 78, Dana. 77, 78. Okay, let's see. Now, I also looked up the hashtag. You can go to this website called hashtags.org. And then you can look up the hashtag. So I looked up the hashtag for chic, and it's actually, getting, this is between yesterday and today. It's getting some trending, really trending a lot at 4 a.m. yesterday. But you can see it's got some trending, so that will also help me with my website. So if I write, an article about Chic, then that's going to help me to sort of piggyback off some of these rankings or these, the trending that's going on with that particular site, that particular keyword or phrase, hashtag. You can do that too if you want to go and look up a hashtag and see what's trending. And if you're going to curate, it definitely helps to curate stuff from news that's happening now, because then you can find those kind of trending hashtags. And so even though it's old as dirt, right, Wayne? Even though it's old as dirt, it's trending. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get a little bit of text from this. Which means I'll probably take these 2 paragraphs. I want to sanitize that text or that HTML. So I'm going to just get a normal text file here and paste that in here. And you see what happens is when you try to copy stuff from web page, sometimes you get extra stuff because it's in the script. Like that's a script right there. I'm going to add my own stuff, or I could just keep that and use it for the attribution. So it's fine. I just want to do it exactly the way they tell me to. So I believe it's these, and I have to get rid of some extra text that didn't belong there. Okay, so I'll go over to my new post, and I'm going to just sort of hit the return key a couple times so I go down into the post, and then I'll paste that in here. And I'm going to use the block quote, increase the indent with the block quote like that. And I'm going to put quotes around it. So now these are quoted, so it shows that I'm saying, yeah, I'm quoting this directly from that website. And I'm also going to put the actual source here. Let's find out actually the name of the author if we can. Let's see if we can find the author's name. Corey Grow. And I like that it has a link to his byline, so I may just try to copy that whole thing and paste it like that. Now I've got a direct attribution to this Corey Grow, the author, and you can see here I've got his byline link directly to his byline on Rolling Stone. And we need a little more. I want to get the exact title of this, so I'm going to copy the exact title. I'm going to go back to the post. I'm not going to put in my title here because I'm going to make my own title. Okay, but I'm going to paste this here. And you see how when I paste, the script gives me a bunch of crap that I don't want. So I'm just going to delete that. And then I'm going to make this an H2. And in addition to that, let's just move it down just a little bit. And we don't want that H2 there. I just want it down the page a little bit. And then I'm also going to make this a link to the article. So the H2 title becomes a link to the article. I just click this edit link, paste it in here, and I will just also, now it's going to give me that weird script stuff again, so I guess I'll just go see if I can type it in. Perhaps first chic album in 2 decades. And we can open it in a new window. So they'll stay on our website even though they might link over to that article. Now, the area where, before I go, I'm going to actually put one more thing here, which is that I'm going to actually grab this I don't think the hashtag is necessary, so I'm going to get everything from before this, and I'm going to put it right at the end of that paragraph, and I'm going to also make that a link. Okay, so that, as far as I'm concerned, that is all you need to do to be totally okay with curating. You've got the title, you've got the title in H2, we've got an actual link to the byline. You could also just say from Rolling Stone here. You don't have to have the actual guys, but it's good to have the actual author. And then you've got a snippet and a direct link right to the article. So now I'm going to un-indent that. So now we have some space here, and we have some space up at the top. Now this should be paragraph. So this is where you're going to put your added value. Okay, here and here. Now if I had another article, I could actually go grab another article about the same thing and put it after that with an entire attribution just like I did there, and it would be fine. You could make a fairly large article by aggregating several different curated sections and giving attribution to each one. I'm going to say okay, so there's my opening value. And I just said, you know, Chic has always been one of our favorite groups. Remember Freak Out? We're looking forward to seeing what Nile Rodgers comes up with in his Chic reboot. Read what Rolling Stone has to say about it. And then I'll tell you what, I'm going to see if I can find an image of Chic. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Wikipedia Commons. Now I don't want to just take the image from Rolling Stone, because that's how you're going to get in trouble. You guys paying attention now, because this is really important for you, okay? Give me a one to let me know that you're paying attention to me at this point, because I'm making a very important point for you right now. Okay, great. Everybody's paying attention. Do not go and take this image and say copy image URL, and do not put that into your post by adding media and insert from URL. See, I could do that. See? And now watch. Did that work? Didn't seem like it worked. Hold on. I'm showing you the wrong way to do this now, which is that you could, doesn't seem like it's working in, no, that's not working. That's not actually, no, they have it scripted not to really even give you the URL, but let me see. One more time, I'm going to try it. There you go. Okay, now see what I did here is I got this very beautiful image from Rolling Stone magazine, and if I wanted to, I could just publish and that would go out. But you know what? That would be very foolish. And I used to do stuff like that, but I do not do that. Let me tell you why. Because look at this. You see that? Via Getty Images. Okay? Now, I believe Getty is the one that's going around slapping lawsuits on people for $3,500 per infraction. So if you were to go out and do what I just showed you, you will be opening yourself up to a $3,500 fine per image. Okay, Bruce says he borrowed some Getty a few years ago, and they came a-knocking. So you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can find, I think it's wikimediacommons.org. Could be wrong. I might have to look it up. I don't remember the exact website, but yeah, I think that's it. Commons.wikimedia.org. Yeah, Eric, the way that those Getty images are provided, and you probably remember a couple of months ago they came out with a big deal about now you can use Getty images in your website, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I looked at that. It's not the same thing. It is an iframe to the Getty website. It's not like you get the image. It's like you put an iframe on your website. Therefore, you lose. You lose. Because you lose every kind of SEO benefit to having an image on your website. It's the only benefit you receive is that it looks good, to a human, which is not a bad benefit to have, but there are other reasons why we put content on our website other than just to make it look good. We want it to look good, and we also want it to look like it's juicy for the search engines and all that too, right? So if you just put a bunch of iframes in your page, you could make your whole page out of iframes and have zero content, right? And it still look great to a human. That's not what we're trying to do. So I hope that makes sense. So now what I do want to do is I want to see if I can find an image that I have the full rights to use without any problem, without even having to worry about it, so I can sleep at night. So I'm going to see if Wikimedia Commons has some kind of a public domain image of Chic, the music group. Here we go, category Chic Band. Now, just because they have them does not mean that they're going to be free to use, but we want to see, and look at that, there's quite a few. Let's check this one out really quick. Looks like an old one, like back in the day or whatever. Looks good. Like I wouldn't mind having this on my website, right? Let's just see if we have the rights to use it. That's what I want to find out. More details. So now that you get to the page that has the actual image on it, you're going to scroll down and see what kind of license we have to use it. And here we have licensing. I, the copyright holder of this work, hereby publish it under the following license. The file is licensed under Creative Commons, Attribution, Share Alike. You are free to share, to remix under the following conditions. You must attribute the work. Okay, Bruce, have a good one, man. So we can actually use this, but we're going to have to give it a little attribution, but I don't mind. I don't mind at all. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either put the attribution directly on the image, or you can link, put a link in underneath, kind of like I did with the byline on that guy. So I think I will do this, and I think I'm going to download it. This allows you to download it. So let me go back and just click the download link. And look, it gives you the exact data that you need to give the attribution to. So I'm going to just grab that right here, put it in my little text file here that I'm working with. And then I'm going to download, see if I can download. Okay, 128. Here's the different sizes. I'm going to take the 1024. Yeah, let's just find out where that's at. And we've got it in here now, so I'll go back to my post, and I'm just going to add the media, and this time I'm going to upload it. And I've got it right here. And it's much better to upload it to your blog And I have a lot more information about that too, but it's almost getting to the top of the hour, so I'm going to have to save some of this for next time. In the meantime, I can definitely, I'm going to put not the full size, but the large size in here. And once that's there, I'm also going to add the attribution. Now, this is the important part, folks, to make sure that you don't get in trouble. And I'm just going to put by Alex Marshall underneath it, photo by Alex Marshall, and I'm going to add the link this way. I'm going to just get that link that they gave me. Actually, that's not even the right link, but I'll just say via Wikimedia Commons, and I don't have to give a link because that's all they said. A little bit of formatting that I kind of like to make it really tiny, so I just go div style equals font size 10px and the div. So we go back now, you can see that I do have the attribution underneath here. Now that leaves me one more thing that I need to add to this post, which is some kind of a after narration, you know. I think I'll just say, so that's still too tiny, that font, so I'm going to have to fix that really quick. I might be able to come up with something a little more eloquent, but I'm trying to make it fast for you guys, because at the end of the post, what I'll often do is, you know, a call to action like please share this post or leave a comment or whatever like that. And we have the Yoast SEO plugin, which I do recommend. And I'm not going to fill that out now because we're kind of running out of time. So let me just go ahead and post this now. Before I do that, let me pick the category because that's important. How it's going to show up on my website underneath the category. You see all my categories here. I'm going to scroll down and find, I think it's going to be music business. That's the one that I'm going to put this under. Tags are important. Chic, disco music, new release, music business, and I'll just add all those, and they are here, and now I will publish. And I'll get your questions as soon as I get done publishing this, and we'll have a look at it. I do think I forgot to put my real title in here, so that's important too. You have a title. New Chic album, should we capitalize, album on the horizon, first in 20 years. You know, you don't have to do this, but I'm just putting that up there to show that yes, it is a curated post. And then we'll publish it. I should fix the permalink too. And here's how I do that. I just copy the phrase I want, the permalink, I click edit, and I just replace whatever's in there and say okay. And then I update. Now that's the permalink, New Chic album on the horizon. Okay, and let me just have a look at that now. In fact, I can just refresh the front page and it should show up right here, and there it is. Okay, great. Now look at that. We've got a nice new article right there with a really nice image that we have the rights to use. I don't have to lose sleep at night worrying if I'm going to get sued by Getty or whatever. And it's relevant too. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. It's fully relevant. Okay, and then at the bottom I've got the, please share. We've got the likes and the tweets and so on and so forth. Here's our tags. Now let me address some of the questions that we've got coming in. Yeah, we talked about the Getty images. Eric had asked me, he said, the Super Bowl was held in my backyard yesterday. Could I use some of the photos and footage and curate as a silo on the event without copyright infringement? That's a great question, Eric. And while I am not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, I believe that if you took the pictures, then you own those photos. Okay, the only thing is, though, that if you have taken pictures and then you publish a likeness of, see, that's why I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if those football players could sue you for putting out their photos or not. We'd have to do some research on that to find out, because I'm not going to just sit here and pretend like I know the answer, like I'm an attorney or something, because I'm not. But it seems to me that if you took those, like if you go to a concert and you take the photo of a music star, I believe you own that photo. Dana says the person has to be unrecognizable. Okay, so it looks like Dana may have already been through this. Great. And SL Services says if people in the photo are recognizable, then a release is exactly that. There you go. See, now that's why you see people on TV shows with their faces blurred out, because they refuse to sign the release to be on TV. So if you take, if you took photos of those football players, running around on the field and you can't see their faces, I don't know if their numbers, their jersey numbers would identify them, or you could get away with that. I doubt it would be a problem, but again, I'm not an attorney. Okay, so this is definitely grounds for further research, but at least we have some kind of a baseline to go from. At least, we know that you can't publish them if they're recognizable, because then that person has rights. And that's why you would have them sign a release, so that they have given up their rights and you're allowed to use their picture. Okay. Martin asked me about WordPress SEO by Yoast. Would I explain what Yoast is about and what it does, or what you can do with it? Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I probably would best do is devote a future session to it, but I will just say that the Yoast SEO plugin is really good for managing what Google sees in terms of your site mapping and the URLs that you're trying to get indexed and stuff. And if you don't use Yoast, and if you don't set it up correctly, WordPress tries to index your same content multiple times, which is bad for SEO. Because, for example, the article that I just published, and it was published under music business, right? So if I didn't have Yoast, then my blog would try to index it under the article name link, under the category link, under the archive link, under the tags link, under the author link. And that looks to Google to be duplicate content. Okay, so what Yoast does, it eliminates those kind of weaknesses on the back end of WordPress to help you get better rankings, and it definitely works. It also helps manage your sitemap XMLs and stuff like that. Lee has a good question. So the sidebar is the only place you put monetization on the blog? Actually, no. This up here is monetized. This is an ad. This is an ad on the side. I have some more ads here. Don't seem to have any at the bottom, but it really depends on what works best for your blog, Lee. I would really suggest, though, that you work on getting traffic first before you try to make money. You know, it's like similarly the way they teach trading stocks and Forex and stuff. If the only thing that you focus on is making money, then you basically lose all your money. I think it's kind of the same way in the web business, with the difference being that you don't have that quite as much money to lose unless you spend it all on coaching and bright, shiny objects, in which case if you do that and then you don't make money on your website, it's kind of the same thing. So for me, I would suggest that what you do is, you know, like I said, service your niche really well so that you get lots of traffic coming, and then once you get the traffic, then you can start converting them, right? Which could be either getting them on your prospect list, or you could, or it would be on the, you know, selling stuff, AdSense, whatever. Actually, Eric just noticed that I didn't have a privacy policy. Actually, I do have all of that. I mentioned at the beginning of this that I just changed the theme on this because of what Google told me about it being responsive, so I didn't get that menu hooked up, but now that you mention it, I should do that. Thanks for reminding me. And I'll show you here in my menus where I actually have that menu already all made. It's just that this particular theme doesn't have a spot for that second menu, but I'll put it in a footer widget right now. You see I've got contact us, privacy policy, terms and condition, website disclaimer. That was actually in a second menu here on my previous theme. What I'll do now is I'll just go to widgets and I go to widgets and create a custom menu and put that menu into the footer, like footer widget. Should work. Custom menu, submenu, save. Okay, John, be cool, brother. We're almost done anyway, folks, so coming to the end. Eric, thanks for pointing that out. Let's see if it shows up at the bottom now. It doesn't matter, Lee. You can put the legal stuff wherever you want to. I don't suggest you put it right at the top because then it makes your website look like that's what it's about. You can see now I have it here. I should put another footer over here too, another widget, but there you go. Now I got it out there. Okay, well, we got we got a little ways into this, and there's a lot more to go. There's a lot more ways to go on this, so stick with me and we'll get through everything. And I'll also send you guys some you know, some from time to time extra training in between the webinars too, in a video. I will email you guys the replay for this stuff. SL Services, is it okay to quote the entire article instead of a few paragraphs? I think it depends on the circumstances. If you get into the habit of copying the entire articles again and again and again, I don't think that's going to be a good thing for you. Yeah, thanks, Dana. We'll get that message across. Okay, guys. So I think that's time now to call it a night. I hope this has been good for you. If you just let me know if this has been a good session for you, then I really appreciate it. Oh, awesome. SL Services said it's exactly what they needed. Wayne says, please don't go. Good stuff, cool stuff. Thanks, Hugh. Would like to see more about SEO Yoast. Learn and answer the question you have for months, Spartan. That's great. I'd like to know what that question is. Lawrence, I mean, all my products are updated. I don't know which ones you're talking about. I think you're still on the old one from 2012, probably. Okay. Okay, great, guys. So, I think you're all in my Facebook group, and if you haven't gotten there, I want you to get in the group. Let me give you the address to the Facebook group. And this is where the group is. Okay, I don't know who Roger is. Oh, you mean Roger Niles? Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully, maybe he'll read it. Who knows? My friend works with the other guy from Sheep, so it's all a big circle. Okay, guys. So join my Facebook group. I just put it in there for everyone, and I'll be there. If you have any questions or anything, I'm there all the time, so you can almost get real-time answers from me on anything, okay? Other than that, guys, it's been super great. I'm really looking forward to the next one, and thanks for coming, and I'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace out, Lee, and everyone else. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.